Welcome back, everyone, to Open Mic. I'm Mike Mooney, Vice President of Marketing and the Chair for NSA Carolinas. And this is the series dedicated to sharing business building chapter news and voices to do exactly that, help you build your business. And I am thrilled that our guest today is Nanci Appleman Vassil, who is our chapter president. Nanci, it is so great to have you on here and see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And Mike, I'm so delighted that you're doing this thing called Open Mic. It's wonderful. And I'm enjoying the fall weather. I'm sitting out here on my porch and it's just a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful time of year, right? Changes in season, changes happening around us, right? And maybe that's an interesting segue to our conversation, because I really was thinking about how can we let members know, some of the new things that are happening. I mean, you've come in as president this year, and your leadership has been absolutely fantastic, and we're all grateful for that and for you. But maybe you can tell our members a little bit about some of the pivots or changes or things that the board has done to help them and their business by being a member.
Yeah, so thanks, Mike. And I appreciate the kind words. And I also know that it takes a village, right? So we've got the great team and everybody's very energized and excited. And we're available to be part of a bunch of strategy meetings we had. Like for the first time, we had a strategy meeting towards the end of June with the old board and the new board, which allowed us to reflect on what had gone well and what didn't, and what did we want to make happen for the 2020, 2021 segment. So we've been in a lot of discussions, a lot of meetings, which I have to thank the board for being available. And the things that we identified, look, we could talk about the pandemic and all the impacts that it's had to everybody in their business. And that one of the pivots we made was we said, okay, how can we continue to bring value to our members? And one of the things we said was, you know what? We're going to go virtual with all of our workshops. We're also going to add some other things, like instead of having the dine-arounds where we're physically together, we're going to do some other kinds of things via Zoom.
Great.
And so we decided as a board, and I'm really, really excited about this, to be able to share it with the membership, is that we decided to waive the fees for all events. So that means that when you pay your membership fee, that's it. You're not paying another $25 or another $79. It's just clearly that. And we are increasing our programming because it makes it easier to be able to do that with the virtual experience.
Yeah, and Nanci, to that point, the hurdles that we're facing these days as professional speakers, there's enough in our business as it is, right? But to add another financial one in some cases, even though it might not sound like a lot, but there's, I kind of call it the O-end theory. It's like, I can afford this O-end. If I want to do this, it costs O-end. If I want to do that, it's going to, and suddenly there are so many O-ends at $25, $79 that it becomes too much, So I'm proud that as a board, we kind of got to that place where we said, look, professional development is one of the hallmarks of what the chapters are supposed to do. And then more importantly, as you were saying, expanding the programming to really be focusing on helping the members.
Yeah, and thank you for saying it the way that you did, because it really has always been about what's best for the members, right? So that we're all having hurdles. We're all having to make decisions every single day, and probably multiple times a day. And you get bombarded by all the stuff coming in through email, and you say, oh, do I want to spend that money and that time? And what we're saying is create the time, because now it's not going to be an additional cost.
Exactly right. It's an investment of your time.
Exactly.
Right? I love it. Well, Nanci, what encouragement then would you give to members right now, as seeing as where we've come to this journey of 2020 at this point?
So I would say that, you really, and I'm doing this myself, because it's like this, we're in the fall season, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do to take care of me? And so part of that is I signed up for our Speaker Academy. Look, I've been speaking for a long time. I'm a CSP, and people might say, well, why are you taking that? Because I'm a continuous learner. I'm a lifelong learner. And every session I'm learning something that I can add to my toolkit. So I would say, I would encourage you to find those professional development experiences that are going to help you grow your business. I would say to you that we have our speaker session on November 7th, I believe it is this year, and we would encourage you to sign up for that. Stan Phelps, who is our president-elect, has put together a great program.
Doing a great job with that, by the
Exactly.
way. Just a fantastic, multi module program,
Yes.
which has just been so well received. Yeah.
Yes, and so, and we had a sold out group.
Yeah.
There are 20 of us, actually 21. They let somebody else sneak in. Who
Sneak in the
else?
side.
One more person.
That's
So
great.
I would say to you, and I would encourage you to network.
Hmm.
Network, that's, network with other members. Look, go onto our website and you'll see that we've got now 80 members. I'm so excited about that because
Great.
we were fluctuating at that 65 number of active members. We have more members, but we have some that are not as active,
Mm-hmm.
in the organization. So I would tap into that.
Yeah, I love it because it sounds cliche, but you only get out what you put in.
Exactly.
And I understand, and we all understand there are a lot of pulls coming at us these days. And I think for us, it's important to prioritize. What are we going to put our intentionality behind and our energy behind?
It really is intentionality, Mike. Thanks for that word as well, because it is like, what's my intention? And if my intention is that I'm looking to be connected, and I'm looking to grow my business, and I'm looking to share my expertise, then this is the right place to be with NSA Carolinas.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So hard to believe we find ourselves now in Q4. It's crazy to me right now.
Right.
But if you were to give any tips to members
Mhm.
about what they should be thinking of, or if you could just impart some of your knowledge on that, what would be a couple of things that you'd suggest members be thinking of as we're getting into Q4?
So one of the things I just did last Sunday, actually, was I participated as a attendee in a visualize and sip 3-hour workshop. And it
Okay.
was to support my daughter-in-law, who is a growing and budding entrepreneur. But we did yoga virtually.
Wow.
She connected with a radio station in Trinidad and Tobago, and they had us on their radio program, and we created a vision board, each of us.
Wow.
And I couldn't do the yoga as well because the dog kept getting in my face and because I was on the floor. But the vision board, I took out a piece of flip chart paper, I took out some markers, and I created in about 7 to 10 minutes, what's
Wow.
my vision for the next year? What's important to me? And I put it into buckets.
Mm.
That's what I would encourage people to do, is have something that's really visual,
Yeah.
that is what your intention is. What do you want? What are the things that you haven't gotten around to do? So
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't been as active with NSA Carolinas, just to tie us back to the fact that you could attend every single event that we're offering for free. Why not?
Why not?
So
Why
that
not?
to me, and then the other is self-care. I think if anything else over the last 6, 7 months has been, how do you put balance in your life? And how do you continue to participate in the things that are of value and importance to you?
Yeah, I love that, and so important. The takeaways in that is the idea of continuous learning, networking, self-care, and then most importantly, taking some time to think about that vision. I love the idea of the vision board. Something I probably need to do myself as I'm looking at 2021. But I think that is just amazingly helpful, and I think for the members, something that they could really grasp onto.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about potentially having a session on goal setting because I think it's
Right.
really valuable. One of our esteemed board members, Nicole Greer, is someone who that is what she does a lot with her clients. But I have to tell you a funny story, which is after I did the vision board, the dog,
Right.
which is a tiny little Dachshund lab mix,
Mm-hmm.
sat down on the floor and looked up at the at the flip chart. and just stared. And then he
Scared.
changed his position and he looked at it another way.
Is that right?
It was hysterical. I mean, I'm a storyteller, but this was a true story.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was like, okay, like I really have to do it. And then what's fascinating is that members of the family have, because it's in my bedroom,
Yeah.
members of the family have walked by and my husband said, yep, I'm agreeing with that. I'll do that with you. And then my son, who happens to be living with us right now, he said, yeah, I agree with that one. I'm going to do that one as well.
I love it.
It became visual.
Yeah.
Not only for me, but everyone who's living in this house at the moment.
I love it. It created some gravity, right? It pulled people in, right? And pulled them together, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, we need a lot of that today for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Nanci, listen, thank you so much again for your leadership. These are volunteer positions. We know it's a lot of hours. So thank you for that. And thank you for your time today to catch up on the show. It's always good to have different voices. We're going to keep doing this each month. We're going to kind of regroup and have a different message from Nanci to share with the members. So keep an eye out for that. I want to thank you, the members, for tuning in to another episode of Open Mic, where we're trying to help empower and motivate and equip you to take your practice to the next level. So cheers, and we'll see you soon.
Great.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Be doing any editing of this if like I slip and say a bad word or?
Well, here, I don't have any tiles that I can. I'm not that good in iMovie, but I can do a cross dissolve. I can do that. All right, that'll be great.